Have you ever seen a funny movie before? Well, I'm here with Mike Raisch. He's a very funny guy who makes funny movies. Check it out on Meet the Filmmakers. Hey everyone, welcome to Meet the Filmmakers 2025. I'm here with Mr. Mike Raisch. Mike Raisch, what has attracted you to the 48-hour film project? Tell us your team. Tell us how long you've been involved.
Well, we started in 2013, I believe, and we got into it because Trixie Mercurio and her husband, Mike Swedeen, they worked with me at the Apple store in Walden Galleria, and they made me aware of this 48-hour film project that they participated in New York City. And then they were like, hey, you're good at Final Cut and movie stuff, so there's this fun competition. We should do it. And so we did, and it was so much fun. So we've been doing it every year since.
And that's how you got the name Bad Apple Productions?
Bad Apple Productions, yep.
Wonderful. It's kind of balanced. Has it been just Bad Apples before?
Actually, we didn't start as Bad Apples. We started as Dark Labyrinth Entertainment,
okay,
which is my Halloween entertainment company that I no longer really do. But we started the Halloween business in 2013, which is why I'm able to remember. We started 48s that year too. And we actually got a horror genre for our first film.
Perfect.
And it's still one of our favorites. It's near and dear to our heart because it was unfortunately late, but it actually impacted a lot of people after the competition.
You know, and I forget because you were involved in this before I was running it. And but that one was called Ostinato?
Oh, very close. Ostinato.
Okay. Ostinato. Okay.
Yeah, wow.
Wonderful film. I've watched it. I thought it was great. And I've been following your films ever since then because they've been awesome. You're one of my favorite filmmakers in this competition, and I'm so glad to have you. What is your favorite part of this competition? Why do you keep coming back?
Well, my favorite thing about life is collaboration and creativity. And the 48 is just a recipe for the best parts of all of that. It gives you an exact amount of time for you to focus on a creative project with a bunch of people that you find fun and cool. And at the end of the weekend, you have something to show off forever. And the repertoire just keeps building. And I just want to keep coming back and experience that. It's kind of like a drug, honestly, because it's like a rush from the weekend. And then you have this thing that you get to hold in your hand at the end. Well, intangible.
But that's one of the biggest draws because filmmaking takes a lot of time usually.
Yeah.
And for an actor, they could act in something, not even see it ever sometimes or see it months later. And this is something that they have in their reel, literally after 48 hours, unless there is a catastrophe, which also happens. But
Right.
Statistically, that's only about 10% of these things. So most people are leaving with a great production right at the end and screening it and having a great time. So your film in 2024, I still don't know if I'm saying it right when I say funeral or funeral. What's the final take on that?
Yeah, I think we mostly pronounce it funeral.
All right.
Putting the fun in funeral. And I don't know what to say about it other than it was just fun to dance around a topic such as death.
Well, you danced around death. You drew musical, which some people would consider death, but you rose to the challenge and you did a really great job.
Oh my God.
Did you have any particular big challenges in the film?
Oh, did we ever? I've been rooting for musical all of these years, and I will no longer be rooting for musical.
No?
It was fun, but it really is like a whole nother project to try to create music. And it's so much to do. It's already so much to make a movie in a weekend, but then to write music on top of that is so much more. I felt like it just was too much. We would have never been able to accomplish it without the AI that we used.
Well, so I wanted to bring that up because this year, sort of monumental thing that this is even possible. One of the cool things about the 48-hour film project that's been going on for 20 years, technology keeps on changing. There was a time people would have mini DV tapes or a DVD that they'd have to bring in physically. The world has changed and we adjust around it. This is the first time that there's really been competent AI music. So this dreaded, oh my God, how are we going to do a musical? Sort of there's a key to unlock that now. How did that go for you? Because it sounds like it was still work.
Yeah, it still worked. There was definitely lots of challenges because it doesn't just spit out exactly what you want right away. So you just got to keep adjusting the description of the thing, blah, blah, blah. And the other challenge is, I'm sure this will get better, but it really doesn't give you a full song. It gives you like music in the middle of a song, so you don't really get an introduction or an outro very well.
Okay.
So trying to plop that into the movie was almost jarring. We had to like find beats or kind of like weasel it in, and people with a good ear would probably be able to tell that we were doing that.
Sure. Well, yeah, but it's still, so you're saying it still took the ability to be able to work with music and to understand how it works. I think sometimes the misconception is that like, oh, we just pushed a button and now here's our music. But you still had to time it right. You still had to get it all lined up. There still was a lot of work that went into using this music, even though it was generated with AI pretty efficiently.
Yeah.
What did you think of like the AI voices and like trying to match those to the characters? How did that all go?
Yeah, that's what's cool is that the voices are pretty high quality, it seems. There's a quality to it that I can kind of tell, but we would have never been able to record our cast members' voices well on top of all the writing and all the stuff. Like recording it too, that's just a whole nother layer of stuff, and producing it so that it sounds good. The AI just spat out good voices every time.
So did you know that there was good AI music at the time, or did you like have this moment where you're like, how are we going to do this? And then you're like, let's try AI, and then it worked. Like, did you already know about this?
It's interesting because it was around, I don't know, it was earlier that year. We'd always been rooting for musical, and I found out about this AI music stuff. And that's when my producer, Trixie, I was like, hey, I just found out about this AI thing. It might make musical a little bit more doable. And we played with it, and we had a lot of fun. We're like, okay, yeah, this might work. So when we pulled musical, she's like, yeah, okay, because we have AI. So we did play with it beforehand, and we knew we had this tool, but it was just perfectly coincidental that we were able to pull musical at the drawing.
Yeah, usually it's dreaded, but it seems like there's a new hope in that. Because if you didn't have a composer on your team, you were pretty much sunk. There were years that we had a pretty good composer involved, and he brought a whole workstation over and writing songs. People are trying to sing. Not everyone did the most amazing job, so you're dealing with that. It didn't predate auto-tune. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Maybe it predated like really accessible auto-tune. But it was certainly a challenge. What was your favorite part about seeing it on the big screen for the first time at the premieres? And, you know, any standout performances, any big laughs that you got? How did it feel seeing it for the first time?
Oh, well, it's always exciting to see what you made on the big screen. I think that Rosanna's performance down the aisle came across really, really well.
Showstopper.
I think a lot of energy went into that performance because we had more hands on making the choreography happen, the song, the makeup and hair and dress. Like there was a lot of creatives that were just working on that scene compared to probably other areas of the movie, and it shows. I think that was a star moment.
It is. It's a standout moment because it does. It stops the film. She's got her own song. She's walking down the aisle and really did a solid performance there. Yeah. Sean, her counterpart, also much more brief but memorable performance as well, falling down drunk in the middle. That was also quite funny.
Yes, and it's actually really funny because, they're a couple in real life, but in the film, he like kind of hits on her and she rejects him. And it's just, it was funny to see them play those characters on camera.
So I've never thought of Mike Swede as a
Swedeen.
I've never thought of Mike Swedeen as an actor, but I've seen him act in things now. Is he kind of spreading his wings on that front?
He's one of the funniest guys I know. I mean, he's the one that came up with let's use the tomato as the character for Saucy, which obviously, set the course for that year.
Don't make us do a whole episode about Saucy. We could do a whole episode about Saucy.
But his wit, I think that I would watch him in an improv show anytime because I think his wit and his comedy is just so quick. There's light doesn't even travel as fast as his jokes do. It's incredible.
That's certainly
I'd like to see more. I'd like to see him more on camera for sure.
Do you have any tips for other 40-hour film project producers about best practices or how to make the best film?
Gosh, there's so much. I think the the most important thing is that at the end of the weekend, you evaluate and adjust for the following year, right? Think about what you did do well, continue doing it, and think about where you could get better and make improvements.
Well, that is an excellent lead-in for my next question, which is, what's your game plan for 2025? What's from that plus? I would call that like a plus delta, right? Like, what do we do well? What do we need to change?
Yeah,
it's a business thing to evaluate yourself, though, so that you do better in the future. You have to recap on these things.
Musical is just so overwhelming. I think that what I would like to do going into 2025 is focus on maybe some awards that we haven't won and try to go into the weekend prepared with more tools to attack it. For instance, like we had the AI songs to attack musical. I'm wondering if can we get a really elaborate wardrobe, or can we find a really cool location to drive some of our story? Because those things are things that you can prepare and still follow the rules. And then it'll show up on film at the end and be really impressive. So I'm hoping that we can do something like that. I just don't know what that thing is yet.
So I hope you find a wonderful location that gets you into the top 10 at the award show, because that's the creme de la creme of this show and this performance. What are your thoughts about that? Do you enjoy being at the award show?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy being at the award show?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The award show is the hoopla of of the 48. You get to dress to the nines and be a Hollywood star for the night, and
as you are,
as I am, and walk on stage and celebrate your team and celebrate everyone else's team and their hard work and creativity. And it's just like the energy that permeates that space is unbeatable.
Well, Mike, and everyone else knows, you're one of my favorite filmmakers in this competition. I can't wait to see what you create, and we'll see your work on the big screen this year in the 48-Hour Film Project, and we'll see you on the big screen as well.